will do multiculturalism in classroom with respect to the second language, English, according to NCF 2005. In this also, like the previous answer, you have to write the meaning of multiculturalism. What is a multicultural society? It has to be included. That is, multicultural means consisting of or relating to people of many different nationalities and cultures. The goal of multicultural education is to help the students understand and appreciate cultural differences and similarities, and to recognize the accomplishments of diverse ethnic, racial, and socio-economic groups. Then you will write the definition also in this answer. That is, multiculturalism can be defined as the experience of having been exposed to and having internalized two or more cultures. Hong et al. Has given in 2000. Then you can write the second definition. More specifically, multicultural individuals are those who display multicultural competence, that is, display cultural behaviors such as language use, choice of friends, media preferences, value systems, and so forth, that are representative of two or more cultures. La Framboise et al. 1993. So these are the definitions which we had discussed in the last class also. The meaning of this definition was discussed. Then you can write down the analysis of definition. Means whatever you have understood, that you can write down in your own language about the definition. That is called analysis of the definition. Then in the last class we had discussed the what is National Curriculum Framework. National Curriculum Framework 2005 NCF is divided into 5 chapters, and language is discussed in the 3rd chapter of the document. This also you can write. According to NCF 2005, languages get socio-culturally constructed and change in our day-to-day interactions. Then you will write the main points highlighted in the NCF 2005 with respect to the English language. Now we are going to discuss. In the last class we have already discussed the mother tongue or the first language or the home language. Okay, now what is the second language? Second language is English, which we are going to discuss today. That is multiculturalism with respect to second language English according to NCF 2005. Then after writing the meaning and the definition, you can write down this. If in the question they have asked only for the second language, that is English, then you will write after the meaning and definition these points. That is, the first point given by NCF 2005 about second language English is twofold goals. What are the twofold goals? Goal of second language curriculum is twofold. That means two goals are there. First is attainment of basic proficiency of English language. Second is developing language as instrument of thinking and acquiring the new knowledge. See the first goal. First goal is attainment of basic proficiency. Basic proficiency over here means listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The child should know. He should know how to write the language, how to speak in that language. Okay, how to understand. He should be able to listen and understand the basic language. Okay, so these are the basic skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing, which the child has to attain in English language. Second point is developing language as instrument of thinking and acquiring the new knowledge. So the child not only has to speak in the language, English language, but he also has to think in English language. You mostly are thinking in your mother tongue. Okay, we all mostly think in our mother tongue, but we should also think in English so that our vocabulary is developed, so that our pronunciation is better, and also you can get the words when you are speaking. At that time only your mind gives you the words. because when you start thinking in that language, that is more beneficial for speaking also. So developing language as instrument of thinking. You have to think in English language and acquiring the new knowledge also. It can be done in English language. So these are the two goals, which is attainment of basic proficiency, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing skills, and developing language as instrument of thinking and acquiring the new knowledge. Because English is also beneficial for acquiring the new knowledge from the internet, from the news. Okay, so you can acquire the new knowledge from the textbooks in English. So the students should learn how to acquire this knowledge, and they should also not only learn the language but also use the language properly. That is the goal of NCF for the second language, English. Now, across the curriculum approach. What is across the curriculum approach? It means that English should be used in all the subjects. It means that English should be used in all the subjects. That means it should be used in science, social studies, mathematics, okay, guidance, all the subjects. So this is across the curriculum framework, means English is being used and also learned in the other subjects also, when you are reading it, when you are writing it. So you acquire the language proficiency. This Then the third point is rich input environment. Rich input environment means good environment for learning English language. And we have already discussed in the last class, you have given the examples that if we teach the language with different teaching aids, with the help of different teaching aids, and we also perform drama, or we play with the students. There are many language games which can be played with the students. So this helps for developing a good environment, or you can say a conducive environment for language learning. So input given should be good, then only the output will be good. So rich input environment should be given. This point you can explain yourself in your language, that teaching of language, English language should be made interesting with the help of different teaching aids and also with the help of language games, so that the students can learn in a better way, in an interesting manner. Okay, so this is the third point which has been given by NCF 2005, that is rich input environment. What was the first point? First point was twofold goal. It included the attainment of basic proficiency, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing skill of a language. It also included the thinking skill, which is the second point, that is developing language as instrument of thinking. Then we had done the second point, that is across the curriculum framework or across the curriculum approach, which means that English should be used in the other subjects as well. An integrated approach should be applied. This is the second point. Third is rich input environment. Environment should be good for teaching a language and also learning a language. Place of English. According to NCF 2005, English needs to be to find its place along with other Indian languages in different states. Its importance should be recognized. So in all the states, the importance of English should be recognized. English is an important language for conveying the ideas, for discussing any topic, for acquiring knowledge, for getting employment. Okay, so English is very much important, and this the all the states should recognize this, and English should be taught in all the schools of different states accordingly. So the third point, which is rich input environment, you have to explain it yourself in your own language. Okay, you don't have to leave it in one sentence only. You have to explain it in two or three sentences, which we had just now discussed. And place of English we are discussing, that is English holds an important place in the Indian society, in the multicultural society like India. English should be taught in the schools in an interesting manner. This is what NCF 2005 has said about place of English in the different states, that English holds an important place. Okay, next point is the fifth point, which is multilingual input. It includes Before we had done the environment, input of the environment. Now we are talking about the multilingual input. Multilingual means different, more than two languages. If a person knows, then that is multilingual. Okay, two or more languages. If you know, you also know two languages or more than two languages, that means you are a multilingual person. Okay, so this way the multilingual society is there. Our society, the Indian society, is a multilingual society in which many languages are spoken. They are two or more than two languages. So multilingual input should be given to the students. That is, it includes the textbooks, which should be also be typed in English, as well as you can say the other language. Okay, or it should be translated into English if it is in some other language. Includes textbooks, learner chosen texts, libraries, variety of parallel books can be there in more than one language. Okay, so that the students can translate and learn, and also they can give different examples. Okay, in the same language which they are learning. Media support, learner magazine, radio, audio, cassettes, etc. should be there. So here we are talking about English language. So we can say that the the books which are there, they should be written in English language. English should be the medium of instruction. Learner chosen texts, libraries and should have English books in it. Okay, variety of parallel books in more than one language can be there, but English language is very much important, so the same book should also be there in the English language. So multilingual input should be given for learning English language. Then next point is community learning centers. Schools should be developed into community learning centers for disadvantaged learners. Okay, so the learners who are disadvantaged, they have some problem like if they are blind or deaf, dumb, these students also should be included in the school. These students should be included in the like regular schools where the normal children are coming. So community learning should be there in the schools, and also there should not be any biasness. Equality should be there, and they should also be taught in the same way as the normal students are taught. And also they should be given facilities like braille for the blind. Okay, and sign language can also be taught to these students. So schools should be developed into community learning centers for disadvantaged learners. That means all the learners should be given the opportunity for learning in the schools. Then only they will become community learning centers. And also these students should be given the opportunity to learn English language and to speak in English. Apply broad theories. Research has shown that theories of Vygotsky, Chomsky, Piaget are effective in the language learning. So these should be applied while teaching. Students, these theories will be discussed with you by Tirth sir. He is going to teach you psychology. So he will be discussing the learning theories with you of Piaget. Chomsky I will be discussing later on, and Vygotsky also sir will be discussing. So later on you will come to know about these theories. You can write down a little bit about these theories if you want to in your answer to elaborate it. Okay, so for now you should know the names of these psychologists to write down in your answer. Okay, later on you will come to know about these theories of also of language learning. So apply the broad theories. Research has shown that theories of Vygotsky, Chomsky, and Piaget are effective for English language learning. So these should be applied while teaching by the teacher. Then we have the next point, that is teacher education. English language teachers should have proficiency and high level skills for teaching English. So the English language teacher has to be trained accordingly. She should be proficient in speaking English. Okay, and high level skills, that is listening, speaking, reading, writing, all these skills should be developed in the teachers during the teacher education program, that is the B.Ed program which you are doing. So in this also the teacher education should be such that language should be developed, English language should be developed during the teacher education programs. Other subject teachers should have the basic skills to teach English. Teaching English. So if you are teaching the other subject also, whether you have taken pedagogy of economics, whether you have taken pedagogy of mathematics or science, but you should have the basic skills to teach in English also. Okay, so that the students can learn the language in a better way. Okay, so this is given by NCF 2005, and it is for English language, how the students can learn more of English language. Okay, when all the teachers will speak to them in English language, then it will be easier for the students to learn English and to interact in English language. Next is language evaluation must not be solely done by the achievement level but also on the measurement of the language proficiency. So over here it is said in this point that the language skills, or you can say the tests of the student, the examination of the students should not only include the writing skills, because we have seen that the exams may only include the writing skills कि आप एग्जाम के अंदर अगर लिख लेते हो अच्छी तरह तो आपको अच्छे मार्क्स मिल जाते हैं, इंग्लिश में अच्छे मार्क्स मिल जाते हैं अगर आप लिख लेते हो, है ना। मगर जो एग्जाम है उसके अंदर सिर्फ लिखना नहीं होना चाहिए, बोलना भी होना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर स्टूडेंट अच्छी तरह बोलता है तो वो भी एक स्किल है विच इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज। ओके, रीडिंग इज ऑल्सो अ स्किल, तो लिसनिंग, स्पीकिंग, रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग सारे टेस्ट करने चाहिए, सिर्फ राइटिंग टेस्ट नहीं करनी चाहिए एग्जाम के अंदर। तो यही पॉइंट यहाँ पे दिया गया है कि लैंग्वेज की इवैल्यूएशन इसी तरीके से हो सकती है जब आप लिसनिंग, स्पीकिंग, रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग को एनालाइज करो, उसको इवैल्यूएट करो, ठीक है। इसलिए सिर्फ राइटिंग वाला टेस्ट अगर हो जाएगा तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपको इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज आ गई है। तो इसलिए ओरल टेस्ट भी लेने चाहिए टीचर को, जो अभी स्टार्ट हो गया है, मुझे लग रहा है स्कूल्स के अंदर ओरल टेस्ट भी होते हैं, ठीक है। प्रैक्टिकल टेस्ट होते हैं जिसके अंदर ओरल बोलना पड़ता है स्टूडेंट्स को, ठीक है। सो लैंग्वेज इवैल्यूएशन must not be solely, सिर्फ ये नहीं होना चाहिए must not be solely done on the achievement level कि मतलब अच्छे मार्क्स आ गए हैं तो इसका मतलब इसको बहुत अच्छी इंग्लिश आती होगी, ये बात नहीं है। but also on the measurement of language proficiency, language proficiency को भी measure करना है, that he can speak properly or not, he can listen the language and understand it properly or not, ये सारी चीजें भी चेक करनी, he can read properly or not, ये सारी चीजें भी important है for language evaluation। नेक्स्ट इज ऑप्शनल इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्ट भी लिया जा सकता है स्कूल से। स्कूल जो है वो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्ट उस तरीके से ले सकता है जिसमें लिसनिंग, स्पीकिंग, रीडिंग, राइटिंग की एक्टिविटीज उनको करवाई जाएं। तो एनसीएफ ने कहा है कि ऐसी एक्टिविटीज होनी चाहिए जिसके अंदर उनकी ऑप्शनल इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्ट OELT सेकेंडरी स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए होना चाहिए, ठीक है। दिस इज द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, दैट इज OELT, दैट इज ऑप्शनल इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्ट। Next is use listening as skill development and promoting cultural value point of view. This includes listening to the local available resources such as folklore and storytelling, community singing and theatre in English language. जो आप पोइट्री जब लर्न करते हो तो उसको अगर गा के लर्न करो तो वो जल्दी से लर्न हो जाती है। तो आप जब प्राइमरी क्लासेस में थे तब आपको याद होगा कि टीचर जो है सिंग करके और एक्शंस करके आपको पोइट्री सिखाती थी, ठीक है, और स्टोरी टेलिंग भी होती थी। तो उससे क्या होता है कि कल्चरल जो इम्पैक्ट है इंग्लिश का वो भी आता है स्टूडेंट्स के ऊपर। और अगर आप मूवीज देखो इंग्लिश में तो थिएटर वगैरह, तो उसके अंदर आपको इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज की डेवलपमेंट ज्यादा होगी क्योंकि उसके अंदर डायलॉग्स आप सुनोगे इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के अंदर। तो लिसनिंग जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर लैंग्वेज एक्विजिशन एंड फॉर स्पीकिंग। लिसनिंग इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर स्पीकिंग। अगर आप सुनोगे उस लैंग्वेज को तभी आप उसको अच्छी तरह से बोल पाओगे। सो लिसनिंग एक्टिविटीज जो है वो करवाई जानी चाहिए क्लासरूम के अंदर, जिसके अंदर स्टूडेंट्स को सुनाना चाहिए। कम्युनिटी सिंगिंग, थिएटर, folklore, storytelling should be done in the English language. This is another point which is skills उसके साथ डेवलप होती है, इसलिए इसको कहा जाता है स्किल डेवलपमेंट। ओके, यूज लिसनिंग एज स्किल डेवलपमेंट एंड प्रोमोटिंग कल्चरल वैल्यू। कल्चर के साथ रिलेटेड स्टोरीज भी आप बता सकते हो, इंडियन कल्चर के साथ रिलेटेड स्टोरीज बता सकते हो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के अंदर। फिर उस तरीके से लैंग्वेज भी डेवलप हो जाएगी और आपके कल्चर को भी आप स्प्रेड कर सकते हो, वैल्यूज को स्प्रेड कर सकते हो, अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रख सकते हो, वैल्यू सिस्टम सिखा सकते हो स्टूडेंट्स को कि कैसे डिसिप्लिन रहना है, या कोई भी वैल्यू जो आप पढ़ाना चाहते हो आप इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में उनको करवा सकते हो विद द हेल्प ऑफ स्टोरी टेलिंग। नेक्स्ट इज यूज क्लासरूम टॉक्स टू डेवलप द स्पीकिंग स्किल्स। फिर आप स्टूडेंट्स की इंटरेक्शन करवा सकते हो जिसमें वो कोई स्क्रिप्ट कर रहे हैं या कुछ ऐसा कर रहे हैं जिससे वो डायलॉग्स बोल रहे हैं। और बहुत नॉइज है बाहर आज। ओके, यूज क्लासरूम टॉक्स टू डेवलप द स्पीकिंग स्किल्स। तो आप इंट्रैक्शन करवा सकते हो स्टूडेंट्स में, डायलॉग एक दो स्टूडेंट्स को कह सकते हो कि आप बोलो, है ना, आप कस्टमर बन जाओ, आप शॉपकीपर बन जाओ, उससे वो स्पीकिंग स्किल्स एनहांस होगी एंड दे हैव टू डू इट इन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज। नेक्स्ट इज इंडिविजुअल रीडिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी। ठीक है, रीडिंग स्किल्स डेवलप करनी चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स की। ठीक है, इसके अंदर क्या है, इंडिविजुअल रीडिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी देनी चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स को इन विच द टीचर कैन इंप्रूव द प्रोनाउंसिएशन स्किल्स। फोकस ऑन एक्सप्रेशन एंड नॉट ऑन एरर्स इन राइटिंग। ज्यादा एरर्स नहीं निकालने हैं स्टूडेंट्स की, कि अगर स्टूडेंट ने राइटिंग के अंदर कुछ रॉन्ग कर लिया है तो स्पेलिंग को इंप्रूव करके टीचर वहां करेक्ट स्पेलिंग लिख दे, एरर्स ना निकाले, रेड पेन से क्रॉसिंग ना करे। ठीक है, और वैसे उनको एरर्स बता दे कि आपका ये एरर है, लिख के चाहे बता दे एरर। ठीक है, तो बच्चे को ये है कि मोटिवेट करना है, सिर्फ एरर्स नहीं दिखाने हैं। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज नर्चरिंग स्कूल एंड कम्युनिटी लाइब्रेरीज। कम्युनिटी लाइब्रेरीज के अंदर मोर एंड मोर इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज बुक्स होनी चाहिए सो दैट स्टूडेंट्स लर्न कर सके इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज स्टेज वाइज राइटिंग डेवलपमेंट। राइटिंग कैसे डेवलप कर सकते हैं? ड्यूरिंग द प्राइमरी स्टेज राइटिंग स्किल्स शुड बी टॉट अलोंग विद द अदर बेसिक स्किल्स। प्राइमरी स्टेज में ही राइटिंग बिगिन कर देनी चाहिए। ठीक है, एट द मिडिल एंड द सीनियर लेवल्स ऑफ स्कूलिंग नोट मेकिंग करवानी चाहिए जिससे बच्चे खुद अपने नोट्स बना बना के लिखें। शुड रिसीव अटेंशन एज अ स्किल डेवलपमेंट ट्रेनिंग एक्सरसाइज। नोट मेकिंग करवानी चाहिए इन द मिडिल एंड द सीनियर लेवल्स। नेक्स्ट इज अकॉर्डिंग टू द NCF 2005 English language should be taught to enrich the imagination. Imagination enrich करने के लिए English language करवानी चाहिए so that students imagine कर सके English language में, and develop the originality. Listening, speaking, reading and writing skills should be given equal importance. ये तो सारी skills हैं, इसको equal importance देनी चाहिए टीचर को। ठीक है, तो ये था आपका English language के साथ कौन कौन से पॉइंट्स हैं जो NCF 2000 ने बताए हैं फॉर द मल्टीकल्चरल सोसाइटी।